Hi there. So today we are talking to my husband, James Whitt. Welcome, James. How are you today?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. So we were chatting before we came on here to kind of talk about what's going on in our lives now, what you're doing for work, what you had been doing previously, kind of where you came from, all that good stuff. So why don't we open up, let everybody know what you are doing this day and age? What are you doing currently?
Well, right now I'm helping you, my wife, run our cleaning company. Got my hands in just a little bit of everything, and then trying to start a side hustle of cleaning windows.
Very cool.
hmm
How'd you get into the cleaning windows?
Uh, you. One of our neighbors had put something on our Facebook page about needing their windows cleaned, and you said that I do it at our house, so I went up there and did their windows, made decent money for what I did, and now I've got more people reaching out. So,
Very cool. So
hmm
you're starting your own little, well, I say little for now, but endeavor of your own that you can dive into.
hmm
Very cool. So what were you doing prior to joining me with the cleaning company?
I worked in auto manufacturing. I did it for about 12 years, and I'd kind of, I had just had enough. Um, we went through COVID and we were laid off for a long time, and uh, I got to spend a lot of time at home with you and with our daughter, and I had to go back to work, and it was just super depressing. And my employer always told me that if I didn't like the way that things were ran, there was the door. And I went back, finished out the rest of the year, and I went through that door, and I never came back.
How long had you been there?
About 12 years.
So what made you stick around for the 12 years that you were there?
It was good money, and the insurance was unbelievable. Which that with going through your diagnosis and how well the insurance treated you and helped you out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the insurance, of course, I think is what we both decided kept you there. Even
hmm
though, after I don't know how many years into the business it was when I started telling you it was time to get out, if you were ready to be done because you were kind of in a living hell, if you will, every day, working 12-hour days, five, 6 days a week, sometimes long layoffs, sometimes, not sure when we would see you because you never knew when you were going to be getting off of work. There was a lot that went on, and there were a lot of years that I kind of sadly, jokingly said it was like being a single mom, but that was true. And so as I, was growing the cleaning company, quite a bit, really, after my diagnosis came in 2012, and we had started, or I had started cleaning. It was like 2010, and so when my diagnosis came shortly after Mackenzie was born, um, a lot of things shifted, but um, that health insurance definitely kept us on, on board with kind of the
That's what.
hell that you
hmm
were being put through per se. And then, fast forward to a lot of years later when the cleaning company had grown so much to where I just said, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out because we were worried about how we were going to pay for insurance. And, I just said, well, I've never really led us astray. So if you trust me, let's figure it out. And it was the end of 2000, what was that, 2020?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think finally completely done, and I made a giant sign, and you know we celebrated you leaving that place.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like being reborn.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So tell everybody. So what was it like? So give them like paint a picture of what it was like. You don't have to go into full detail, but working inside of a factory, no windows, no like not no clean bathrooms. I mean, there was a lot of things that made it a not ideal working situation. And I know you had made like good close friends along the way that you still have, but as far as the work itself goes, and maybe it's not even that, maybe it's more of the company, and we don't have to name names here, but just give an idea of kind of how the day to day went for people to know how crummy of a you know situation it was to really stick it out for as long as you did.
Okay.
Kind of shocked, right?
Yeah. So just to kind of give an idea of what the day to day was, is that we would start our schedule was constantly changing for what they needed. So we'd start at 6 or 6:30 and work till 6 or 6:30 at night. And then on Fridays, to cover the other shift, we would start at 8:30 and then work till 8:30 at night. And that was on a Friday. And I don't know who wants to work 12 hours on a Friday till 8:30 at night. It just kind of makes you tired for the whole weekend. We did that for years. And then years after that, we ended up getting a third shift in there, and I was off at 2:30 every day, and it was awesome. But that lasted for 11, 12 months, and then it went kind of right back to the other way. But it was usually 6:30 to I think to like 4, with potential overtime every day. So I truly never knew when I was going to be off, but I knew that they couldn't keep me past 6:30 legally, because they could only make us work 12 hours, even though they would try to force us to work over our 12 hours. The management was horrible. I can't even tell you how many plant managers that we went through. They thought that they were going to run our line, that facility, with a lot less people, and they ended up having to hire a ton of people just because of their calculations were very unrealistic. They really didn't care what it took, as long as the job got done. Now the job did have a few perks, which we had talked about, which was insurance. I made good money. I had 4 weeks of vacation a year. When I did get laid off, I did get sub pay, so I still collected 90% of my pay. So it wasn't bad all the time, and I did make some pretty good friends along the way that I still talk to this day. Um, so like there was always kind of the pros and cons of it, but after getting out of there and helping you run this cleaning company and being able to be around you and Mackenzie more, I could never go back to a situation like that of just having to raise your hand to get off the line to go to the bathroom, or if you needed a drink, or after the end of an 8-hour shift, they only give you a 5-minute break. It was just terrible. And like I said before, they would make us one of the other things they would do is, whenever the company that we built for would get laid off, they would still have us come in sometimes, that way, that and work just enough hours to where that they didn't have to pay us our sub pay. And I don't know about everybody else, but we've got bills to pay, and whenever they would do that type of stuff, it would really hurt everybody. And some people wanted to work 12 hours a day, 6, 7 days a week. And I guess that just kind of comes down to, some people live to work, other people work to live. And, it was just then the bathrooms were disgusting. We never had clean bathrooms. You constantly run out of toilet paper. The sinks didn't work half of the time. The break room was always gross. And management was rarely decent. Most of the time they were just, kind of, I don't know any other way to say it, but they were just kind of jerk offs. Like,
Mhm.
and I'd always speak my mind to them about, the things that they're doing wrong and the things that they need to do. And they would agree with me, but it would never get done, and there toward the end, after being there for so long, I ended up landing on, some pretty cush jobs that weren't, real hard. But I just didn't want to do it anymore. And after I spoke with a couple of friends, about quitting, and with you about quitting, my friends was telling me, I can't believe that you did that as long as you did.
Right.
I'm not one to really quit when when things, get hard. Like I've kept, all of my jobs for long period of time. Before that, I had a job for, 8 years doing the same thing. The work just kind of ran out. But after getting out of there and you know co-owning business with you, I could never go back to a situation like that. It would kill me. Like it would crush, my soul, because I'm not meant to be in that kind of situation. So
So
so I'm what's that?
for anybody else who's maybe suffering in a job that they hate, or and it doesn't even have to be a job, but what kind of advice would you give to people who are having some of those similar thoughts of, I really dislike what I'm doing every day, and I don't feel like I have any other options, and is there anything, kind of pieces of advice or words of wisdom that you can share with anybody else?
Get out. Life is very short. I learned that at a very young age after, both my parents died. But life is very short, and it's precious. And you get, one shot at this, in this body. And if you're not happy doing what you're doing, and you're not treated, respectfully and like you matter, it's time to find something else to do. Don't stick around just because the money's good, and just because you got good insurance, and you may have, 4 or 5 weeks of vacation a year. If you're not happy, you're not happy. Like, it's just, you got to find something else. And I'm very fortunate that, my wife ran her own company and really coached me into getting out of there. She knew how, miserable I was, you
Yeah,
know.
there was a lot of um, kind of mindset work that we did, for a while. And it took a lot of mindset shifting and mindset changing, and getting a lot of that to actually stick, to kind of get you into that headspace where you finally were able to wrap your head around the fact of truly leaving. We talked
Mhm.
about it. I put your, I told you I was going to put your resume out there, and to just to get you out of there. It didn't even have to be that you were going to come run the business with me. I just wanted you to get out of there so that you could enjoy life. You'd go to work when it was dark. You got off when it was dark. You didn't get to enjoy a lot of, a lot of life, period. So yeah, it was definitely a lot of, just working toward me over here holding this space of positivity, and we can do it. And if you trust me, we'll make it happen. And you over here, with all of the reasons as to why it won't work, and why you can't leave, and why we need the insurance. And of course, after I was diagnosed with breast cancer at age 32. Our daughter was only about 5 months old. And thankfully, we did have that amazing insurance, because it really did help us in our time of need. And that was tremendous. And, that was one thing that we, again, not to keep bringing up the insurance, but we really held on to that, but guess what? Now we work for ourselves still. And we have health insurance, and it's doable. So just because you're in a situation, like what James is referring to, that you think that the only way out is, you have to find another job that's exactly like that one, right? But all you're doing is transferring like the crap onto more crap, unless you find like something that's absolutely outstanding, that isn't gonna you know, basically take the exact same situation over into another situation, because a lot of factories and a lot of plants, they they do work a lot of hours. You know, it's based on labor and need. You can also be laid off a lot. So I would definitely say the mindset shifts came, you know, you finally tuned into what you wanted, what you needed. You know, we had lost both of your parents, and then my cancer diagnosis, you know, kind of scared us too. And we both realized that life is very short, and to travel more and love more and enjoy more and make a lot of memories. So,
Mhm.
any regrets on your end with any of that?
No, no. I mean, I do miss, you know, the camaraderie of, you know, of my friends that worked there. But, you know, there toward the end, I was the Lone Ranger. I was the last one left. You know, everybody else had, you know, either, you know, had to have surgery and they weren't able to come back, or they had just kind of hit a point to where they just didn't want to do it anymore. And
Right.
you know, I was just done. You know, I came back to the at the end of the year, and I had 4 weeks of vacation at the beginning of January, and I cashed them all out. And you know, and I said, peace out. I'm done. I told the remainder of the people that I felt like I was fairly close with that I wasn't coming back, and that it was nice, you know, getting to know them over the years, and you know, hopefully we could stay in touch and one way or another. And I still talk to a few of them from time to time. But yeah, just I don't know if it's really a regret, but I do miss, you know, like working around you know, other dudes for sure. You
Yeah.
know, because
Right now,
I'm a guy like through and through. Like,
and right now you're just totally 100% surrounded by nothing but estrogen, because it's myself and our daughter, and all of
yep,
our employees are females. So um
I am the only rooster.
yeah, that is makes you the only guy.
Yeah.
So but it is what it is. I mean, the opposite of that is you'd be back in that old place doing the old thing, and you know, never knowing when you'd get off work, and you would have
Yep.
missed, you know, more years of life,
Hey, yeah.
your way into that grave of just a little sooner than we really, you know, wanted or anticipated. So I'm glad that you're out of there.
Me
Uh,
too.
how do you think as far as you know, the last couple of years? So when you left, it was, you know, the year of COVID happening, and then, you know, the next year was obviously a little rough with COVID still being kind of, you know, businesses were shutting down and businesses were closing because they couldn't stay open, they couldn't, you know, make payroll, they couldn't pay rent, whatever the case may be, but yet we're still standing, you know. And I took a lot of pride in that. So uh,
Good.
you know, what did you think about leaving and then going headfirst into all of this COVID and employees? And, you know, I mean, do you feel like that was the right time for all of that to have happened?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you know, it just wasn't you talking me into leaving. It was also, you know, just a kind of an internal battle that I fought with myself. But the 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 deciding factor for myself was that, you know, that our your cleaning company, our cleaning company needed help at the time, you
Yeah.
know, and I was that person that could help on you know, on many different levels. So
Mhm.
then you know, I started thinking to myself of, you know, if we lost the cleaning company, you know, we would lose our livelihood. If I lost my job where I was at, you know, I wouldn't have been able to support, you know, our lifestyle. I just, you know, it was good money, but so anyway, so I decided to jump ship at the factory, and I kind of felt like a like Superman, you know, coming in and helping, and
Saving the day, because
yeah,
we were damn short on employees. And, you know, I was terrified that if we didn't get somebody hired on soon, we were going to, you know, lose clients, and we needed to keep as many clients on as we possibly could. We couldn't really afford to keep losing clients. And the fact of the matter was, the government had given out all that amazing money, but it made people really not want to work much. And then even after all of that, it was people were working, but they weren't doing the same types of jobs that they were doing before. They were finding a lot of different jobs. And so even hiring after that, it became even more challenging than it had been prior to that. And so, when I was expressing that to you about having a lack thereof, really, truly, of employees, and I'm diving back in and full on cleaning, which I had, still done cleaning, but not anything like I had in the beginning. And then it was like I was back to being full-time cleaning. You were then headfirst into getting trained and learning how to clean, not just how to run a business. You were full on, just like me. Like, you were learning how to clean, you're learning how to run the business, you're learning how to manage the employees, you're learning, all of that I had done over the years, slowly but surely. And now you were kind of head first into all of it, which,
Yeah, yeah.
we definitely needed you, and you were like the savior at the time. It was like, okay, James is here to save the day, let's make this happen. And then head first into 2022, it was like, okay, things are shifting again. People are starting to work more again. Let's get more people hired. And with our business, it's always I swear it's like feast or famine. We either have like an overflow of people who want to work for us, or we have our normal 5 or 6. And then we're like, so many people are reaching out because they need us or want us. And then we're like, well, we're back on a waiting list because, we can't control employees, obviously, and we can't force them to stay, unfortunately. So when you left, yeah, it was kind of prime time to make the business stay afloat and really keep it rolling.
Yeah, if there was ever a time for me to quit, it was then. Like, divine timing,
Yeah.
if you will.
Perfect. Well, that's about all I have for you today. Did you have anything else that you wanted to throw in?
I just wanted to reiterate, if you're unhappy at your job and you're not treated fairly, don't stick around just because it's good money and it's good benefits, because you deserve better. Like, I can't tell you how many times I was told that there's the door. I mean, I had even gotten suspended, once or twice just because I I just wasn't that guy that they wanted, or needed anymore, and I didn't want or need them anymore. So I chose to walk out that door and never come back. And you can too. I understand my situation is a little bit different because my wife already had an established business, but there's something out there for everyone to where you can actually be happy with what you do. So take
Absolutely.
advice, jump ship, be happy, live your life.
Life is short. Life is short.
Very.
So we have to go now, but you can check out my website. I do offer a lot of coaching and intuitive guidance and things of that nature. It's www.amberwitt.com. So if you feel the need to reach out, you need assistance with anything, I'm always around. You can also, call or text me. It's all over the website as far as my number goes. But thank you so much, James, for sharing your story. And we appreciate your time and your space and your energy. And that's all we have for today. So thank you again for hanging out with us here on the Amber Witt Show, and rock and roll. Peace out.